Hey there, welcome. I'm about to move into a new bullet journal as I am almost finished with my A5 Stellology. We're almost at the end of July, and that's I was already planning to move by the end of July to a new bullet journal, and I wanted to share with you kind of the thought process or the questions I ask myself when I try to decide or choose a new notebook for my bullet journal. I like to switch things up. I need that sense of novelty every now and then, and I adjust the kind of notebook I work with depending on the kind of things I want to have inside my notebook. So that's kind of the first thing I ask myself. What am I going to use it for? Is it going to be for your daily to-do list and maybe a couple of bullet points for some memories? Then something, pocket size may be what you're looking for. But before 2023 started, I knew I would need more space because I've been working on several projects. There have been several meetings. And in the past, when I had a pocket-sized bullet journal, I would have my meeting notes or any kind of extra notes on a separate notebook. And that's fine. I mean, that worked back in 2022, but this year I felt the need to have everything in one place, and I've been loving it. And yeah, so at the beginning of the year, I knew I would need extra space for mind maps, brainstorming, extra notes, all of that. And I thought that maybe when I had to switch, I would go back to something pocket, but this still feels too small. I've been loving the extra space because I do lots of mind maps. That helps me organize my thoughts, my ideas, and I like having that space, that extra space. Maybe in the future I'll go back to a pocket size, but for now I do like something bigger. So that's the first question I ask myself. How much space do I want, or what am I going to use it for? If it's just going to be my to-dos, pocket size is perfect. If I want more space for notes, mind maps, drawings, all of that, I know I will have to pick something bigger. So right from the start, this one, which I've been wanting to use for a while, I won't be using for now. Okay, these two are B6. It's kind of like a middle point between the smaller sizes like an A6 or a pocket size and the A5. So this could work. So the next question I ask myself is portability. Do I want to be able to bring my bullet journal in my purse? Some people don't mind carrying a huge notebook in their purse or their backpack. I do mind. I don't like carrying heavy stuff inside my purse. I would like to downsize a little bit. That's why some of my choices, or most of my choices in here, are B6. This is an A5 Slim, and this is a Leuchtturm A5. And somehow it feels smaller than the Stellology. Maybe because the Stellology, it got a little chunky. So yeah, I won't be using this one because I do want to downsize a little bit. Maybe not so much as a pocket size, but I do want to downsize. I miss being able to bring my bullet journal with me in my purse without it being too heavy or taking too much space. So I'm thinking a B6 size or an A5 Slim could be a great option. Now, the next question: how much space do you take in terms of pages? I do finish notebooks very quickly, so I like to have a good amount of pages. I mean, this, like a Moleskine, still works, but when possible I would like to have a little bit more than that. So I will not be using this one because as I have been taking lots of notes and I am downsizing, something close to 400 pages would be ideal. Now, going back to the subject of portability, this sequence, while I love this brand, is kind of heavy. Yeah, it's heavy and it's kind of bulky. You can see the difference next to Stalogy. It's quite a difference. Let me see. So the Stalogy is like 1.5 centimeters, a little bit more than 1.5 centimeters, and this one is almost 2.5 centimeters. So it is a lot thicker and it is heavier, and which sucks because I do love this notebook. I loved every minute inside this pocket sequence notebook. The paper is, you know, that perfect shade of white where you can use your markers and it looks beautiful. It's super smooth. The pens glide. Yeah, I just love this brand. I know there's a sequence B6 that is half of this, kind of like a half year, and that could work also, definitely, but I had this personal rule that I would choose from something that I already have. I want to finish or use the notebooks that I have in stock. All of these already have notes. This one. I think the only one that is completely new is this Nanami Cafe I bought like 2 years ago. But yeah, this one also has notes, and I don't mind having notes in all of these notebooks because, you know, a bullet journal is a very flexible planning system. I always have commonplace notes in my bullet journal. If I have my bullet journal with me when I'm out and about and I hear something interesting or I read something interesting, I like having the notes in my bullet journal. So it's very natural to me to have notes with my bullet journal. That's why I don't mind working with a used notebook. For commonplace notebooks, it will take me a while to finish them. Why not start using one of these as my bullet journal? So going back to portability, this one is a little heavy to carry in my purse, so it comes down to these two. The next thing I do is play with my layouts, how I foresee myself using the notebook. So here I have some ideas for my monthly, some ideas for my dailies. This is an idea for a weekly. This kind of monthly is more similar to what I have going on currently in my bullet journal, but in a more compact size. I like this kind of dailies and this one, and I love the thin paper. And this is Tomoe River paper, which is my favorite kind of paper. I also played with this Stalogy, more ideas for my dailies, weeklies. I think this was my favorite. Then there's this one, or this kind of more messy, yeah. Also this kind of dailies. So yeah, as you can see, I had a lot of fun, you know, planning or seeing how I could use these notebooks. And I decided to go with the B6 Stalogy just because I've been loving this one so much, and I was very tempted to stay in another A5 Stalogy. This felt like kind of the more natural change, in the sense that same paper. I wish the grid was the same as this one. This is 4 millimeters and this one is 5 millimeters, and this size is just perfection. It's not too small like this one or Hobonichi, and it's not too big like this one. So, but aside from that, I've been loving working with this particular paper. The tone of the paper is perfect. Also, it's white but not too bright. Love it. So that's why I decided to go with this one. Now, some other things I keep in mind that fall more into personal preference is what I just mentioned, the paper. what kind of media do you like to work with? If back in some other years, I've been obsessed with working daily with my fountain pens, and I chose specifically notebooks that worked well with fountain pens. And Stalogy, I don't love it for fountain pens. It does work, you can use them. They feather a little bit, it depends on the kind of nib you use and the kind of ink. But in general, I don't love fountain pens in here. In the Tomoe River paper, I prefer it, but it takes a time to dry. It's a good thing this one comes with blotter paper or sheet. If I was into fountain pens currently, like non-negotiable the use of fountain pens, I would go with Leuchtturm. I think this is where I like most my fountain pens, or something with Tomoe River paper, you know, keeping in mind that I would have to use a blotter because it takes some time to dry. I also don't like fountain pens in sequins nor Moleskine. I have been working with gel pens, and I mean, gel pens work anywhere. They dry pretty quickly in this paper, which is awesome. So that's one of the things I keep in mind when it comes to paper. For my planning, I tend to prefer white paper because I like to use watercolor when I do my monthly cover page or monthly planning page. I've been liking using watercolor. That was also a reason why I chose this one. Well, I could have chosen this one also, but this year I have been doing some watercolors in my monthly planning page, and I would like to finish the year with this kind of style. But if doing art is not your thing, you don't care for watercolor or any kind of artsy media inside your bullet journal, these are also good options. All of these are good options. If fountain pen is not your thing, also any of these notebooks is a good option. So yeah, I only like yellowish paper for my journals, but when it comes to planning, I do have a strong preference for white paper. Having said that, you know, this is the personal preference part. But having said that, I was this close to picking one of these notebooks because I missed the hardcover with the closure feeling. You know, it feels like kind of more respectable, more like a serious, I don't know, I just like the vibe of the hardcover with the closure and the bookmark. Stalogy doesn't have them, and Nami doesn't have it, and Sequence doesn't have it. So I was missing the feeling, you know, that vibe of the, you know, I don't know, to me it looks more kind of more respectable or more serious, more classy. I don't know, I just like a hardcover notebook with a closure. Love it. These two bullet journals, for example, from 2021, I'm obsessed with these. I keep these, most of my bullet journals I recycle because what's the point of keeping them? At least I don't see a point in keeping all of my bullet journals. But these two, I think I will keep them forever because I just loved every minute inside these notebooks. I love the feeling. Leuchtturm, it comes with the stickers that you can have on the side. And these two were pure joy, so I was very, very tempted to going back to one of these. I may do it for 2024 because I do miss these kind of notebooks, and these ones make me wish I was the one notebook kind of person, because I love the idea of having my bullet journals stacked with their cute sticker on the spine and seeing them all same size, same height, same everything, different colors. I love that idea. I really do. Even a Moleskine works with kind of that theme. But I guess right now I'm just really happy with Stalogy and I'm not ready to let it go. This paper has been pure joy, and I'm not ready to change it yet. So that's why I chose this one. So as a summary, things I encourage you to keep in mind when you choose your bullet journal or a new bullet journal. What are you going to use it for? How much space do you need to have? If having smudge space is important to you and an A5 is kind of a perfect size because you like to spread out, but these ones seem kind of heavy, you can also find notebooks like this one. This is an Apica A5 notebook. The paper is lovely. I have a review on my channel, and as you can see, is a lot thinner. Well, not a lot, but it is a little thinner than a Leuchtturm. And the number of pages, I think it's roughly the same, but this one is somehow lighter, maybe because this is a hardcover. So you can look for something that is soft cover so it doesn't weigh as much, or go with an A5 slim like a Moleskine. So that's the first question to ask yourself: how much do you need to spread out, either because you need to do mind maps or because your handwriting is quite big? Those are things to consider. The second thing is portability. Do you want something that you want to be able to carry with you inside your purse or your backpack without it being too heavy or without it taking too much space? To me, kind of a sweet spot between the bigger notebooks and the smaller ones is B6, either B6 regular or B6 slim. Another cool B6 notebook is this Leuchtturm, soft cover. This is a lovely notebook. It has 2 ribbons. They also sell them in hardcover, but they don't have many pages. They have, I think, 123. That's going to last me like 2 months tops. So no, that's why I didn't choose this one. But this is an option also. As you can see, it's a very cute notebook. It's kind of a little taller than a regular B6, just a little bit, and a little bit slimmer, just a smidge. Another thing to keep in mind is how many pages you need. I do like having close to 300 to 400 is a perfect amount for me. Leuchtturm tends to have the regular one, not the bullet journal edition, which has thicker paper. The regular Leuchtturm has 252, I think. I took some of the pages from the back. Something like that. Let me just check over here. Well, no, 250. Which is a good amount. These ones lasted me between 3 to 4 months. The ones I used in the past. It depends on how many notes I'm taking. So I guess between 250 and 400 is good for me. And lastly, your paper preference. Some people don't care much about the kind of paper they're working with. I am kind of picky when it comes to paper, as is the case for many of us who found in stationery a hobby. Stationery is my hobby. I do care about paper, you know, that feeling, how it changes, how it acquires kind of personality with daily use. I really care about the paper. So yeah, those are things to keep in mind. I hope this video was useful. After this video, I'm about to upload the setup video for this bullet journal where I show you my theme for August and how I set this up. Like I mentioned, the first pages are notes, and then I start my bullet journal. And I'm loving the way this turned out. I'm obsessed with this little guy. I'm so happy with this new bullet journal, and I can't wait to show you what it looks inside. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you, and I'll see you in the next one.